What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today we're going to be going over all of the different controls and functions for the Rock Beam DC light. So to get a better understanding for the light, let's go over all of the different controls and functions. Starting with the back of the light, we have the power in socket, and this is where we're going to connect our power cable to power the light. So we're going to take the blue end here and plug it into the power in. Make sure that these grooves here fit inside of the grooves of the socket, and then you're just going to give it a twist to the right. You'll then hear it click into place, letting you know it's secure. Then you're going to take the other end and plug it into a wall outlet or a power source. Next, we have the on and off switch for the light, so whenever we're ready to power it on, we can flip it to the on position. Whenever we want to turn it off, we flip it to the off position. We have the fuse for the light in the middle, and then next to the fuse, we have the DMX in and the DMX out sockets. So we can use the DMX out socket to connect from our first light here out to another light. And then we have the DMX in, so you can connect from another device like a DMX controller or another light for master slave. And then on the front of the light, we have these different buttons here. So we have the menu button, which we can use to cycle between the different modes available on the light. You can also use the up and down buttons to cycle between different modes or to cycle between different settings inside of those modes. And then you have the enter button to save any changes or to enter a mode and use the up and down buttons to make customized settings. So now that we know what everything does on the light itself, we're going to power it on so we can go through the different modes. So the first mode we have is the ADDR mode, which is the DMX address mode. You can also use this mode to set your light to slave mode if it's connected to a master light. Next, we have the DMX channel mode, where the light tells us there are 12 channels to use when connected to a DMX controller. This means you can use 12 faders with your controller, and each of these faders have a different function to control your light, but we're going to be going over all of that later on. Next, we have the SLND mode, and with this mode, we can set our light either to an auto mode, where it will cycle between different colors and different movements, or we can set the light to sound mode, where the light will interact with the sound picked up by the built-in microphone. So for example, on this mode, I'm going to press enter, and then from there we can use the up or down buttons to cycle between auto or sound mode. So if I press enter, you'll see the auto mode come up, and then I can use the up or down buttons to cycle between that or the sound mode. And so if I want to use the auto mode, I'm going to press enter, and then our light will function on its own. Alternatively, I can go back with the menu button and cycle it to the sound mode and press enter. And now the light will interact with any sound picked up by the microphone. So as you can tell, it's already reacting to the sound of my voice right now. Even when we clap, it switches function as well. Next, we have the preset mode, which allows us to pan our light from side to side. If we hit yes, then we have the light panning this way. And if we have it set to the no setting, it will pan towards the opposite direction. Next, we have the tilt mode, where we can tilt the y-axis of the light. And again, this has only two settings, yes or no. So when it's set to yes, we have the light tilted here. And if we have it set to no, it's going to tilt to the opposite direction. Next, we have the sensitivity menu, which allows us to set the sensitivity of the built-in mic, which again works with the sound mode for the light. So the more sensitive we have this setting, the more the light will interact with any sound it picks up. Next, we have the LED menu, which works with the LED display right here on the front of the light. When we have this set to the on position, we have the display lit up at all times. And if we turn this off, the LEDs will turn off after 5 seconds of inactivity. Next, we have the display menu, where we can invert the display of the light. So if we turn this setting on, it's actually going to invert the display. And this is handy in case our light is upside down on a truss. And to set it back to normal, all you have to do is set this to off. Next, we have the temperature menu, which tells us the temperature of the light in Fahrenheit. Then we have the version menu, which tells us about the software built into the light. And then we have the factory menu, where we can set the light back to the factory settings for a reset. So one thing to keep in mind is that if you have your light set to slave mode, the SLND setting won't work for that slave light. However, you'll still be able to pan or tilt your light. So hopefully this helped explain all of the different controls and functions for the Rockbeam DC light. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.